just didn't know what was coming, and I'm glad that I saw a movie that wasn't predictable. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
I was kind of irritated in the film a little bit at times. It felt it was a little slow. I almost felt myself going off to sleep a couple of times. And then, the music came and there was a bit of this and a bit of that.
At that point, we were just laughing.
I know, because
and so, that was stupid, but it was stupid to a point where,
it was
for me, it turned into a comedy, and I don't think that was intended. Hey, welcome to the segment. We just saw 10 Cloverfield Lane. This is our spoiler-filled review and our after-movie discussion. Before we get into spoilers, we're going to do about 1 minute of spoiler-free, and then right after that, we're going to get right into the discussion of this movie, because this movie deserves a discussion, man. Without getting into spoilers, it's not a spoiler to say this was not what I was expecting.
I had no idea. I got to the movie theater and I had a different perception of what it was going to be, and I kept thinking, what the hell's going on? It was a good movie. It was very compelling at times. I think the music, the sound score was intense as all hell. But it was quite shocking, yeah. Yeah,
this was definitely, it could have been at least 2 different or 3 different movies. Definitely. Spliced into one.
Yep.
It had more of a feel of the movie, The Road. Remember?
I do.
Yeah, it had more of that.
Yeah, it did.
That kind of hopeless feel, that kind of trapped kind of feel. Even though they were on the road, but it still kind of felt hopeless and trapped. And it didn't feel sci-fi for most of the movie.
Correct.
It felt more practical, down to earth, something realistic. I want to get into spoilers right away. I think people are ready for spoilers too. But before we do, what would you score this movie?
Well, let me just say it was based on a book called The Cellar, and when you kind of know that, obviously that was the name of the book it was based on, kind of gives you an idea about the film a little bit. IMDb scored it at 7.9. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 90%. I'm going to give it a 7.2.
I'm going to give it an A. I loved it. I loved this movie. I did not love Cloverfield. The previous. I loved this movie. So now we're into spoilers. All bets are off the table. So you mentioned this was based on a book called The Cellar.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's news to me, and that it started to make some sense, because it feels like it was a completely different movie that they threw some aliens in at the end.
I agree. That's it. But that's only the reason I scored it a little lower, because I was kind of irritated in the film a little bit at times. It felt it was a little slow. I almost felt myself going off to sleep a couple of times because I was tired. I haven't been very well. But and then the music came and there was a bit of this and a bit of that. It was a hard film to say that I loved it, but I did enjoy it, and it did keep me going a little bit. I thought you came up with some good ideas, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, I love those kinds of films. Shawshank Redemption, The Road. I like jail movies. I like movies about being trapped and hopelessness, and so that's where I really love the movie. At the end of it, when it got into the aliens, it almost felt random, and it was what was interesting is at that point we were just laughing.
I know,
and so that was stupid, but it was stupid to a point where
it was funny.
For me it turned into a comedy, and I don't think that was intended. No. But for me, that even made the movie better, even though we were enjoying it for the wrong reasons. But it just got so fucking stupid towards the end that it just turned a good movie into an excellent movie, as far as I'm concerned. That's the way that I see it, which might not be a very common.
But I think sometimes you get a movie that you love to hate. You know, and it was kind of. It felt like it wasn't.
I want to show this movie to people. I want to watch people watch this movie.
Exactly.
Because the aliens were not needed whatsoever, and this could have been a movie called The Cellar, and it could have ended right there when she came out and saw the birds and took off her mask and kept it ambiguous. Maybe it never was a plague. Maybe it never, But then they brought in those aliens, and it just keeps getting more ridiculous, more ridiculous.
J.J. Abrams.
He had to put in his thing somewhere.
Yeah, they had Star Trek or whatever. But, you know, it wasn't a big budget movie. It was $5 million.
Which is amazing.
It's going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. I think it's opening night. They probably already made their money back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they have. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that it's probably going to go, if not number one, it'll be number two over the weekend.
It's almost dishonest in a way, though, because it's like, it's interesting, because they took this Cloverfield property. Mm-hmm. All they did was put $5 million in it. They made a good movie.
Oh, yeah.
But they connected it to Cloverfield, which the connection is basically non-existent.
No, it's not.
And so that way, and then their trailers were real ambiguous. Like the one trailer that I saw is just the scene where she's trying to escape, and he's like, "Don't go out there, you're going to kill us all." And that was the trailer. That was it.
Exactly.
And so you're thinking Cloverfield. You're thinking so you go, and that's where they're going to make the $5 million tonight. They're going to make that back as people are expecting a Cloverfield sequel, which is not.
No, not, and you got to feel there's probably another one coming.
I guess, but if they come out with another Cloverfield, I'm not going to know what to expect at all, because it's almost like it's the same universe, but you know. Now we're going to be on a boat and it's going to be sea monsters. I mean, like, at this point, what's the next one going to be? It could be anything.
I know, because it doesn't make any sense. It was totally random compared to the other one.
Yeah, and the other one, I believe, was like a found footage movie, right? I mean, it
seemed like it was.
I mean, you're talking about completely different
they were on
movies.
They run in New York, right?
Yeah, they were running around New York. It was something like,
Monster.
felt like Godzilla
movie.
And this one was, you know, basically a movie like The Road. Mm-hmm. And there was some things thrown in there too that I thought were kind of weird and almost useless and stupid, but I liked it anyways. The subplot where John Goodman turned out to be some kind of killer, never really explained. I thought that was kind of stupid, but it helped because it was in there. You just didn't know what was coming, and I'm glad that I saw a movie that wasn't predictable. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was thinking about it on the drive over here.
I think that little bit was a bit predictable here. And I think you made a really good point.
Well, for me, because I was just thinking what would have been predictable was for the young guy to be the bad guy.
Right.
And so that's where it kind of threw me for a loop.
Well, I think they should have lent more to that. Mm-hmm. So you got yourself...
You're not sure.
And then you're kind of thinking, oh my God, don't go with him. And it turns out Goodman... You know,
but see, if they had done that, I would have not been surprised. And actually, sometimes when I don't know, for me, I felt making John Goodman the straight up bad guy, that surprised me, because so many movies there would have been twists where he was the good guy. Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good point to that. But I think the strange thing was, you know, you're in this basement and they were planning to get out, and then and he kept assuming that it was his daughter. And I think that's kind of the relationship he was trying to have with with the girl in there, you know. Don't worry, and he called her, you know, baby, little girl.
They all should have just chilled the fuck out. Yeah. Waited around for a year, they would have been fine.
Well, Monopoly would have taken a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that was the point he was making. But no, I thought it was well cast. You know, John Goodman obviously was outstanding. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I thought she did a great job. The other guy was good, John Gallagher Jr. But I think the music really made the film come alive.
Well, it wasn't even so much the music, I think, too. For me, it was more just the sound.
Well, the sound.
That door to her cell or room.
Awesome.
Yeah, every time that opened, it was kind of like, fuck. You know,
it was so loud.
Sure. Yeah. And it
really set it
I wouldn't be surprised, too, if there was some sort of animal noise that they edited into that door sound. Like, it wasn't just a door opening. It was every time it opened, it was like a you know. And then it opened.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
There was just a couple times where the movie started to lag for me. But like I said, I like that kind of thing. I like Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies. I like that kind of just you know, you're just sitting there for a while. You know, you're trapped. Yeah. But where it did start to lag, where I did kind of have to roll my eyes, was when they were sitting. The girl and the younger guy were sitting back to back, and she was sitting in her room, and she started telling this story about this guy that she saw at the mall being mean to his daughter. I was kind of like, whatever, dude. Let's get this something.
Yeah, that was a little boring. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But otherwise, I thought, you know, it was a good film. I don't think it'll ever be one of my favourites. I don't think I'll ever own it. I don't think I'll ever probably watch it again. But I'm glad I saw it. because it was different enough to make me think a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I like films like that, you know.
It kept me surprised, and you know, it's because you're going in there expecting something to do with Cloverfield, and,
right. Mm-hmm.
And it just threw the whole audience for a loop, you know.
Well, plus throwing a whole bottle of whiskey away.
Yeah, but you know, and then the aliens come, and it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was
funny.
It was just a riot, you know. At that point, we were just looking at each other like, what the fuck? We were ready to go when she got out.
Yeah.
You know?
And then you had the Stephen King coming out with a straw.
Yeah, because we knew the runtime.
Yeah.
Which is not very long either.
Right.
A little over an hour and a half. And I knew there was like 10 minutes left. And I was like, maybe the credits are long, you know? She gets out there. Then all of a sudden there's this whole alien battle. And you're just like, what the hell?
It was almost like the tank.
Where did that come from?
So here's the cellar and there's this alien
You
movie.
could make a completely different movie out of this movie just by editing out the very beginning and the very end and just keep
it in the cellar.
Yeah. And then boom, there's a whole different movie.
Yeah, I think I definitely recommend going watching it at the theatre. Mm-hmm. It's definitely different than you think it's going to be. Obviously, if you watch this, you've already seen it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it's definitely not for me a keeper, but I'm definitely glad I saw it. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just a sick kind of person because I like that kind of stuff. Another movie I'm thinking of too. Have you ever seen Old Boy? I think it was.
Is it Old Boy? No, I don't
Old
know.
Boy.
No, I'm not sure of that.
I think it's called Old Boy.
Yeah, I'm not
it's
sure
like this guy that he gets locked in a room and all they feed him is like Chinese food.
No,
for like 20 years.
No,
fucking bizarre, man. I gotta show him that movie. Anyways, but so it's an A from me, and
it's kind of a B because I did
7.2. So it's a C if it was the equivalent. But 7.2, different rating system.
Yeah.
And it's an A for me just because I found some sort of sick pleasure in it, and it turned into a comedy at the end.
It was funny at the end.
Yeah, it's just a bizarre movie that I want to see other people watch.
Yeah, I think you definitely got to go and see it at the theatre. Definitely.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely the just for the sound.
Yeah, no, I
and we
totally
did
agree.
see it in SFX or
DFX.
DFX. We did see it in DFX. Mm-hmm. So see it in you can pay an extra $1, see it in the
it's worth it.
system.
My God,
yeah,
it's worth it. Yeah, it really is.
And subscribe to Blue Number Media. If you're still here, we have first fan reviews in the video before this, and we do lots of different stuff every week.
Got some great stuff going on tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, well, thanks for watching.
Slangy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.